Alright guys, welcome back to today's episode of DGen Plays I'm getting into for 2023. One of the most successful miners to ever hit DeFi is back, and it's better than ever. This is Baked Beans version 2. If you guys were into the DeFi miners at all this year, you saw Baked Beans took the DeFi world by storm. People made a lot of money in it. But there were some flaws to the contract and how sustainable it was, and of course eventually crashed like most of these do. Well, in this case, the original founder, Crypto Kratos, revamped the entire project. It's got improved tokenomics from the first version. This is not a fork, so it's brand new code. And with the improved game theory, this might end up being a lot more sustainable, and hopefully we could all make a lot of money. So as you can see here, I threw in one BNB earlier today. I was too late to get into the first version. I like to get into miners in the first few weeks if I can. So I sat on the sidelines watching a bunch of my friends make money. But since this just launched, I think it's the perfect time to get in. Now, most of these miners, they're extremely simple. They're not very complicated to get in. This one has some additional game theory that I think you might find interesting, and that's why I decided to get in. So I think what we'll do is we'll start off by going to the white paper. I'll give you some of the differences between this one and version 1. And if you like them, you can decide to get in. So in order to get to the white paper, scroll to the bottom. It's kind of hidden. It's this little guy down here. Once you click on that, you can pull up the white paper, and it's pretty standard. Got a bunch of details. We'll go through just the basics, the introduction. As I mentioned before, Baked Beans 1 was super popular at the end of 2021 and most of 2022. The mission of this new version 2.0 is to bring a fun and positive environment back to DeFi whilst proving a simple, safe, rewarding avenue to earn passive income with the click of a button. So this is, of course, a daily ROI application. And like I said, we'll get into the specific game theory here in a second. Baked Beans 2.0's Binance Smart Chain contract brings a familiar product within an originally written contract, not forked from any other predecessor. Like I said, brand new code, and it is improved. It's carefully designed and developed to eradicate all the flaws from the original Baked Beans contract. The mechanics incorporate the contract have been meticulously put together to reward the players of the game and punish those who look to exploit it. That was a big issue with the first version, so this version has made some steps to curb the people who just dump a bunch of money in, maybe get a ton of referrals, and just try to drain the system. This one works a little bit differently, so they won't be able to do that. How to access, that's pretty simple. I'll show you guys, how to put a BNB in there. It's super simple if you've done it before. Baking beans, when baking your BNB on the dApp, this is really just a term for earning yield. Obviously, everything's by the Baked Beans theme. The smart contract will deposit your BNB into the TVL, that's into the contract, and the BNB that's baked into the TVL, the stuff you deposit, that is locked. It will be returned to you via the My Rewards section of the dApp. Next, you will receive beans, which ultimately act as the number of tokens that you own. These beans will automatically kickstart your path toward passive income generation. The minimum deposit for Baked Beans is 0.01 BNB, which right now I think is like $2.50, pretty much nothing. Rebaking the beans, all that means is you're redepositing your funds that you've earned back in to earn some additional yield. And it says the rebake beans function will be available once your rewards have begun to accumulate. It is a requirement to accumulate at least 0.01 BNB before you're able to rebake. This ensures that the Binance gas fees are not higher than the rebaking amount. Obviously, you don't want to go negative when you're trying to reinvest your money and recompound. Once that time has come, you will be able to use the rebake button to compound your rewards into the locked TVL. Once this function is initiated, your rewards counter will restart to 0 and your beans amount will increase. The increased beans will be determined by the amount of the TVL combined with how many rewards are rebaked. Next up, eating the beans. The eat beans function, simply put, is why all investors join the project, right? You want to take profit. This is where your hard-earned BNB gets returned to you, goes to your MetaMask or Trust wallet, so that you can go out in the real world and buy beans from the store, or you could buy a Lambo, which is not very likely because there is a limit of 200 BNB that can be deposited in here. So massive whales can't come in with one wallet and dump thousands of BNB in. There's a limit of 200 BNB, which of course is still a lot of money, at least for most of us, but that limit helps keep the game fair as well. The amount you receive will vary depending on which day you decide to eat. We'll show that here in a second because that's super important. Depending on when you want to take profits, you're going to have a variable tax rate. So it's very important to take profits at the right time if you want to make the most money. The only transaction fees apart from the has-been tax will be the standard gas fees, which are in place on the BSC network. Original Baked Beans version versus 2.0, marketing at 1% on baked beans, 5% on eating beans. So you get a 3% static daily reward. You earn 3% on the amount of beans you hold within the project, So that's whatever BNB you deposited. That amount of BNB is going to equal a certain amount of beans, and you're going to earn 3% static rewards on that. And as you rebake or recompound your gains that you've already made back into the TVL, then your rewards increase as well. All right, let's hit these because some of these are really important. Referral system, right? All these things run off of referrals. That's how they do most of their marketing. But similar to the original Bank Beans contract, BB2 utilizes a referral-based program to bring new investors into the project. Unlike the original, though, BB2 includes changes to ensure sustainability, to reduce the impact and exploitation of influencers and high referral individuals. So the big influencers are out there that get 100, 200, 300 referrals and make a bunch of money. They can just drain the account. They can't do this with this protocol. The tokenomics are set up to where it hinders actions like that. So super helpful for all of us little guys who don't have a ton of money and want the project to be sustainable and last a long time. So for those of you who are gonna pump your referral link out there, you get a 5% bonus, and that's just a one-time bonus. I think in the previous version, those people kept getting bonused and kept getting bonused out. So they're really taking a lot out of the contract. In this version, you put in, say, $100 worth of BNB, $5 of that would go to whoever your referrer is, if you use a referral link, if you use mine or anyone else's, and then the rest, of course, goes into the contract. As I mentioned before, in a max wallet, 200 BNB per max wallet, so you can't deposit any more of that. You'd have to start a new wallet. The has-been tax. This is super important, and I'm hoping anyone who makes a video on this includes this, because if they don't, you're going to get burnt. So if you've watched a tutorial video on this and you've got into a friend's using a referral link and they didn't cover this, please watch this here. So the has-been tax. The has-been tax punishes those who are out for themselves and encourage investors to play the game and sustain the project. The has-been tax works as follows. So once you deposit, you just got your standard deposit fees. If you want to take money out the next day, you're going to get taxed massively, 90%. The next day, 80%. The next day, 70%. All the way down to day 10. So on day 10, no loss occurs. You're just going to hit the standard fees. So when you pull money, you want to at least do it on day like 8, 9, 10. Ideally, you do it every 10th day. This will help with the sustainability of the project, and it just adds a little game theory to it, because some people are going to forget and then they're going to wait until the next 10 days, which will obviously help the TVL. And if people are willing to eat a large portion of their profits, they'll take out just a portion of it and the rest of it's going to stay in the TVL, so that'll help as well. So this is not set it and forget it. Let's say you put the money in there and you want to wait it out, and it goes 10 days. On the 11th day, if you try to claim, it will reset back to day 1 and you'll incur that 90% loss. So time this out, put it on your calendar. This is something new, something really important. Don't forget, every 10 days is the ideal time to take profits. Anytime you make a new deposit, so I threw in a BNB today, but if I want to come back in 2 days and put it in another BNB, that will reset my day back to day 0, and then I'll have to wait the additional 10 days. I don't know the best way to see this. If you look down here, obviously I probably need to refresh the screen, but you see this part that says time passed since last eat. This is what I'm thinking. I guess I'll check out, and once I get to 10 days, then I'll claim. I need to confirm that because I'm not 100% sure, but that's just what I'm thinking. Max withdrawal. This is another important thing. The maximum you can make on that is 3 times whatever you put in. So I put in 1 BNB, the max I can make is 3 BNB. If you put in 10 BNB, the max you can make is 30 BNB. So it does limit the total amount you can put in. So please be aware of that. This isn't an endless moneymaker, but I do really like the idea of tripling up. 300% ROI on my money is great. I may put another BNB or 2 in here. Like I said, I really like getting into contracts like this really early on, because if this one's really strong, especially with the tokenomics, this one could last at least 6 months. So I can keep this thing rolling, keep compounding, keep adding to it. I could end up making some really good money on this in Q1 and Q2 of this year. So that's my strategy. If you guys want to try out something similar, you're welcome to do that as well. I got a couple other cool things here too. A giveaway wallet. So some of it's going to go into a specific wallet, and that 50% that goes there, those funds are going to be used for community giveaways, competitions, and those will be held continually through the lifespan of the protocol. And this comes from the has-been tax, right? So if you're cashing out on every 10th day, nothing goes in here, but all the people who do, that money, 50% is going to go back into the TVL, which will push the product out longer, right? The more TVL, the better. And then that remaining 50% is going to go to giveaways to promote the project, which technically should bring more people in. The more people get in, the higher their TVL, the longer the project lasts. So just more good game theory, really solid. External revenue, this is super important. Giveaway wallet may also be used to benefit the community by utilizing bots, manual trading, and in the pancake swap pools and farms, right? You can earn yield over there. So that's helpful. I think it's extremely important to have external revenue sources. I don't think there's a single daily ROI protocol, whether it's a miner or anything else, that can last without utility. So if you've got some sort of external revenue source, that's really going to help out the project. And from my understanding, the founder, Crypto Kratos, is a really good trader. So he may do some manual trading to earn some additional yield and pump it back in here, but I think it's awesome. It says once the giveaway wallet reaches liquidity of $100,000, it will be used and dispersed accordingly to support the TVL. The platforms that will be used are Pinex, Bybit, and PancakeSwap. It says this is to add an extra layer of sustainability to Baked Beans 2.0, and I agree with that. Down here, you've got the team. Like I said, Kratos is the main guy, and then you've got a full team here, which is awesome to see everyone built out. Some of you guys should be familiar with these names: Tenjin, Jack T from other projects. So hopefully that can give you some additional context. And then they've got their social media links and everything here, so you can join the Telegram and all that. All right, back over to the contract. The UI is extremely simple, just like the last one. So once I hooked up my wallet, it actually didn't show me the balance that was in my wallet here, like some contracts do. This is the balance that I put into my Baked Beans wallet. So I had 0 here. For a second there, I was wondering if my wallet was really connected. I had 0 here. I had to come in here and manually type it in, and it looks like you can't do anything with it, but if you start typing in there, it's going to put the numbers up in black. So I put in 1 BNB, I clicked buy beans, it deposited into the contract, left me with 0.9 BNB, and if I refresh here, you'll see there's a total of 1,158 BNB in here already. Like I said, this just launched. So in my opinion, it's the perfect time to get in. None of this is financial advice. These are full on degen plays, so there's plenty of risk here. But just historically, when a miner launches, that's the ideal time to get in. The people who get in early to miners usually make really good money. The people who get in very late are usually the ones who lose money. So even with the good miners, if you can get in the first couple months, it's ideal. As you can see, I have already earned 0.000986 BNB. Once this grows, I'll get the ability to either rebake, which is recompound, or click eat beans, and that's where I take profit. Now, of course, I'm only going to do that every 10 days because I don't want to get hit with that massive tax. Nutritional facts, 1% on deposit, like you saw. I put in a full BNB, I got 0.99. There's a 5% withdrawal tax, so when it's time to take out, you get taxed 5%, and that daily returns is 3 to 6%. As you can see, nothing too crazy. They've got a partnership with Frost Flakes. The guy who created Frost Flakes is awesome. Built a really good name for himself in the industry. So I like to see these projects where these devs and these other teams are coming together to make the DeFi space better. We need more projects to last. We need more projects to make money. We need more projects to be around for a while so people realize that the DeFi space is actually a place where you can go to make money. Lately in DeFi, it's just been a slaughterhouse. Obviously, crypto looks terrible, and DeFi is affected by that even worse. So a lot of people are trying to stay away. We need some of these developers and some of the guys creating these projects to come together and make some more sustainable projects. And I think this is a solid one. So I'll keep you updated. I'll keep doing videos on this. I will paste my link below if you'd like to join. Obviously, if you join via my link, it doesn't take anything away from you. It just gives me that one-time referral bonus. That bonus doesn't land in my wallet or anything. It goes into the TVL. It goes into my locked baked beans. So it helps incentivize me to use the protocol as well, which is obviously what I'm trying to do. So whether you join via my link or anyone else's, Baked Beans 2.0 is back. It looks solid. The tokenomics are improved. Just make sure you pay attention to the game theory, because if you dump money in here and you start claiming on day one, you're going to be real frustrated with those taxes. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this is something you want to get into. Real simple protocol, but like I said, this is one of my degen plays for 2023. If you have any questions, post them in the comments down below. Happy investing.